Hello, viewers. Here we are in Sydney, Australia, with the lovely Lena Rodriguez, who has come to visit me.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
And we've been planning this for a couple of weeks, and we
Sure
finally
have.
got it together.
Yes, we did.
And so then we had the dilemma. What are we going to read on?
Yeah, so many things. What do we choose?
But we've both had a lot of requests about the midterms.
Boy, have we.
And we're in such a volatile space leading into the midterms, so we'll definitely cover that. And we'll run to some of the other issues as we've got time. We might do 2 or 3 little videos that we can then upload for you guys.
Great.
Okay.
Ready for our first question?
First question. Okay, so what is happening with the filthy, corrupt pussy grabber of all time, POTUS 45? What is going on in his tiny wee brain? So we're talking now about leading in between now and the midterms. Okay, so what will be his frame of mind? What will be the big challenges that turn up? So I'm going to do a little general one to start, to warm up. And then after that, I'm going to do a little one on Trump internationally, because there's so much up in the air about that. Because everything he says or does affects the world. So that'll be the next one. And then after that, we'll look more at the midterms and how it looks to play out from here for each of the parties.
You can see that Lena is the organized one in this picture. She's the leader, okay?
It's that teaching brain. We're both teachers, but, you know, you sort of have the lesson plan.
Yes, she provided this plan, right? Okay, just let me know when you need me to tilt.
I will.
Okay, good.
I'll give you tilting instructions.
Terrific.
Okay, so let's concentrate now. This is Trump and his frame of mind between now and the midterms, which are, what? They're only 60 days away or something.
Not long.
Oh, dear, let's have a look. And viewers, I'm using the Japanese deck, which I will just show you here again because it's so beautiful. Okay, I've been calling them the French cards, but really the artist is from Georgia. So these cards are now out and about. Trump. Okay, if you could tilt, please, Dave. Oh, we're off to a flying start, viewers. Okay. Is that all right for you? You're not wearing out your arms?
No, I'll be all right.
Okay. So, look, here goes the script, viewers. What's the card representing Trump and his mindset? The devil. I mean, really.
So surprising.
It's like, because he is on fast forward. This is the thing about him, isn't he? It's like the whole thing has become so compressed and accelerated, right, that his demon behaviour and the demons in his mind, in all seriousness, you know, his own demons, are coming back for the first time in his life. He's never had to be accountable. He could always just go on to the next project, get another rogue banker to bail him out. He's never had to deal with the results. And so now he's unleashed. The devil has been unleashed. Like I would say at this point too, because I can't speak for Dave, but certainly for myself, I don't believe in the devil per se. It's not actually about evil as such. We're just talking about really evil, selfish behaviour. Right. So here is Trump, literally in the guise of the devil. He doesn't care who he takes down. He doesn't care if the whole GOP goes down the toilet. Not a problem. Now, here he gets the judgment card. Okay, he is under severe stress. We know this.
Yeah.
You know, it's a pincer movement from all sorts of positions of what's happening now. And he can duck and weave all he likes or tough it out all he likes, but he can't escape the judgment. Now, the next card I find interesting in this deck. It's the violinist with the orchestra. I don't think this is Trump. I think this is other people singing performing with the stage. So it's like now we've turned a corner with this stuff, with who's flipped and who's about to flip and so forth. It's almost like they're queuing up now.
A chorus of singers.
It's a chorus of singers going, I want my time in the spotlight because I can see this ship going down. Our feet are wet.
Yeah.
And rather than go down with the ship, I'm going to do my best to get my bit of limelight to say, really, I did these bad things over here, but I'm not as bad as the next guy. It's like, that's the vibe I get on it.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, it's really like that. So just back to Trump again for a minute. The world. So although in his emperor brain, in his pharaoh brain, he loves to think, he's a world player. And simply by being POTUS, he is a world player. However, he's so spectacularly unqualified for this role. But this card leads beautifully into the next mini reading I'm about to do, viewers, which is the international, how the world is seeing this election. And it's only midterms for you guys, and yet it's the biggest election, I think, in modern history.
Sure is. I totally agree with that assessment.
2020 is a million miles away, and this is the one that counts.
It matters. Yeah, this one really matters, right?
Isn't it?
It'll decide everything. It'll decide the future of our country.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Yeah.
In so many ways, it's very interesting that it would just be this fairly random election in normal years, but now it's so important.
Yeah, it's massive. And I just heard John Kerry the other day saying, I'd forgotten, but in the election, the dreaded election that got you guys Trump, only 54% of eligible voters voted. That's the moral of the story. So he got half of 50%. And so it's so important, viewers, to make sure you're up to date with whatever you have to do to be valid voters. It all comes down. Now this, okay, here we go. Just give me a moment here. Internationally, there's so much going on for him. So there's North Korea. That's ground to a halt. Nothing seems to be happening there. That's good. Russia, the perennial player.
Yeah.
China. Trump's going out with a broomstick, whipping the dragon.
Yeah.
Okay. And Iran. So let's just see what turns up. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to see what turns up for Trump on the international stage. The international Trump. All right. If you would do your tilt thing.
Sure.
Okay. Here we go. Yes. All right. First off, he gets the Two of Winds, the Wolves. And I love this card because it has an inner ambiguity. You've got the courage and loyalty of the wolf, the lone wolf, and yet you've got the pair. There's a baby wolf there. But you've also got all the things that are sort of nasty that's attributed to wolves, the viciousness, the attack dog, danger thing going on. So he's doing this. This is pissing off his allies, right? Being the unpredictable wolf, turning his back on the loyalty, and just looking after himself. This whole little mini reading is just about him, and it's supposed to be about the world, and that, in fact, says it all.
It sure does, yeah.
Okay, the card of delusion, illusion, being dazzled by wealth, thinking wealth makes you a righteous person, thinking that wealth is the answer to everything. This is the ultimate Trump-esque card. It's actually based on like a jellyfish idea of the world. Just give me jewels. I want more crowns. I want more
stuff.
Real estate. I just want more stuff. Okay, so that's the vacuous Trump. That's what motivated him. This is out in the cold, walking away alone or riding away. I just saw, I think it was yesterday, where he's cancelled his trip to Ireland.
Yeah.
Last week he cancelled his trip to Australia. There's a lot of cancelling going on.
Yes.
Because he knows now he's here, it's even penetrating his Fox News brain, that there are protests wherever he goes, and he can't handle it. He can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're going to see more cancellation.
I see.
Of anything. And here he is, the King of Winds. It's the dandy card. You know, this is just the look at me, but his world is narrowing down even from Trump Palace. He's now just surrounded by 4 walls that are moving in. So, I'm going to leave that there. I'll do other readings in the future on more detail with each of the countries that I named before. But this is just setting the tone. And it just says straight up, Trump cannot engage with the world. He's incapable of doing it because of his narcissistic lack of worldview. That's what the story is. You know, he doesn't get it. So, Dave, I'd like to ask you now to do a little channel for us, please, on how the rest of the world is seeing Trump now and this time in history.
Okay, so how the world sees Trump. Okay, Spirit, tell me, how does the world see Donald Trump? Okay, that's very funny because, everyone knows the story, the Emperor with no clothes. And it's essentially him walking down the street naked. Nobody wants to see that, so everybody pretends that they don't. But really, I see a lot of countries just sort of laughing and snickering and saying, well, America, now you've got your tyrant to deal with. It's just it's kind of embarrassing, to be perfectly honest. When you have these, pretty totalitarian, countries looking at you and telling you that you're the one that's totalitarian. That's pretty heavy stuff. So they just see him as a big fat baby. It's like, think of the balloon. That's just, it's interesting because you go to different countries and they have this sort of slightly different perception. As I see, Middle Eastern people view him as Emperor of No Clothes. The Brits kind of view him more as that big balloon baby that they've all seen. It's, what, I gotta say, it's very much the experience of an older country that has experienced a good deal of things and has already had their fascists and already had their kings and had their autocrats looking at us and saying, okay, it's your time. Now you guys have to deal with the same situations that we have already dealt with. And they're a little bit more forgiving in the sense that this happens to all countries. And this is the evolution of the United States. I also see the flag kind of with some holes in it, as if people have shot holes in it. But the flag's still there, right? It still exists. It's just holy. It's just been shot through a couple of times. Now I'll tell you, Putin views him as a marionette. Putin really does have this fantastic control over Donald Trump. I don't know what it is. But he's manipulating him like a plaything, and that is to the benefit of his own presidency, because it makes him look very, very powerful. Okay, this is actually from a tarot card. It's not a tarot card deck that I use, but I see an image, and it's usually the sun, but it's like the character on the back, sort of a horse per se, but it looks like they're going to fall off. So we kind of have this picture of like you in the sun. This is your moment in the sun, and now it's done, right? And that seems like that seems like really, really telling.
Right. Wow. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. The Russians must be so furious too, because he's so hopeless.
Yeah. Right.
They expected more competence.
They certainly did. Yeah, he should have been a tougher adversary.
Yeah, really.
Terrific. Well, that was a great reading. Take care.
Great.
Thanks for watching.